Good afternoon, welcome to the class. I will be dealing with Silk Road, chapter number 8 from Hornbill, and hereby I am sharing the screen with you. Please confirm me whether you can see it or not. I hope it is visible to you. Angel, you can see it properly? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So now you see, as I was talking about the huge black dog, they are known as the Tibetan Mastiff. Now they used to stand guard near the tents of the nomads. Now these dogs were referred as beasts. See, these beasts would cock their great big heads. That means whenever they listen to any sound, they just take out their heads. Okay, they became aware of our approach. Aware means fully conscious, and what they do, they fix us, okay, in their sides. Now remember, the author was actually undertaking the journey. As we continued to draw closer, they would explode into action, speeding directly towards us like a bullet from a gun and nearly as fast. That means the way they used to move it was like a bullet. Okay, that means their movement was compared with that of a bullet fired from a gun. Okay, that means the way they used to move. And remember, they are referred as monsters. Okay, they are not referred as dogs. Okay, that is the reason it is written, these shaggy monsters, blacker than the darkest night. And what they used to wear, bright red collars, and while they used to bark furiously. And obviously they had massive jaws. And one important thing, they were completely fearless. Okay, they were completely fearless of our vehicle, shooting straight into our path, causing Shitan to brake and swerve. That means these dogs, okay, they are completely fearless. For them only, Shitan had to change the course of the car. Okay, remember, as soon as the car get off the property, then the dog stopped chasing. But as long as the car was within a particular property, okay, they kept on chasing the car. See, the dog would make chase for 100 meters or so before easing off, having seen us off the property. As I told you right now, as long as the car was within the property, the dog used to chase. But as soon as the car went out of the property, then they stopped chasing the car. It wasn't difficult to understand why ferocious Tibetan Mastiffs became popular in China's imperial courts as hunting dogs. Now it is very easy to presume that why the Tibetan Mastiffs became so popular, because in the earlier days in China's imperial courts, these dogs were kept just near the royal throne as hunting dogs, and they were given rather to say as a gift from Tibet, they were given to the Chinese emperor. Okay, so now I am moving on. I hope up to this it is clear to you, Angel. Any doubt up to this, or is it clear to you? Okay, fine. So let us move on then and see we are getting some historical information also, and side by side the journey is getting continued. So see, by now we could see snow-capped mountains gathering on the horizon. We entered a valley where the river was wide and mostly clogged with ice. Now two things you have to understand. Snow-capped mountains. Snow-capped mountains means snow-covered mountains. Okay, and another important thing is that the river was wide and mostly clogged with ice means it was covered with ice. Okay, actually there is hardly any water left. The place has been covered with ice. Okay, brilliant white and glinting in the sunshine. Glinting means it is glittering in the sunshine. Okay, now see this line, we enter, this is a very important line, I am highlighting this. We entered a valley where the river was wide and mostly cloaked with ice. Mostly cloaked means mostly covered with ice or surrounded by ice, and brilliant white and glinting in the sunshine. How? Because the rays of the sun is getting reflected, and that is the reason it is sparkling a bit. It is looking very much white and it is glinting in the sunshine at the same time. Okay, now I am coming a bit down. As I told you that I will be going through those lines that are important for your exam. Okay, see, we gradually gained height and the valley sides closed in. Now as they were moving along, the way is a bit narrower, the way became a bit twisted, and the way became a bit narrower also. Now obviously driving in the mountainous regions is not so easy, and see, here it is written, the turns that they had to face while traveling, those turns became sharper. It became much more narrow, it became steep, it became sharp, and the ride bumpier. Now it is not a smooth ride the way that we have in the plains. Okay, the ride is now, we can say, it is much more bumpier. Shitan now in third gear as we continue to climb. Now he was driving the car, as you know it, so he was now in third gear. He gave the third gear as they continue to ascend. Okay, as they continue to ascend. And remember one thing, the track is now became much more steeper, and on both the sides, as they were traveling, on both the sides they saw ice. Okay, chunks of snowfall. Okay, because there was snowfall, because it's in the mountainous region. See, it is written beneath the rocks, hunks of snow. Actually, you know, hunks of snow means chunks of snow. Okay, clung means closely attached, on in the near permanent shade. I felt the pressure building up in my ears, held my nose, knotted, and cleared them. Now it happens. Okay, I hope you also had experienced it. I personally had also experienced it. Whenever we climb on the higher altitude, okay, sometimes it becomes very difficult for us to hear properly. Okay, then very difficult for us to breathe properly. So this thing is happening, or these things rather are happening with the narrator also. The narrator is also struggling a lot. He had opened his door. We struggled round another tight bend, and Shitan stopped. He had opened his door and jumped out of his seat before I realized what was going on. Now obviously there was snowfall and the road was totally blocked. Before the narrator could hardly understand what is going on, he found that Shitan came out of the car. Daniel also came out, but when Daniel came out of the car, it seems that with him a breath of cold air came inside the car. See, it is written, I realized what was going on. Snow, said Daniel, as he too exited the vehicle, letting in a breath of cold air as he did so. So this is very important, that Daniel also came out of the car, and then only the author realized that as soon as Daniel came out of the car, a breath of cold air entered the vehicle. Okay, now you see. So up to this it is clear to you, Angel, that means snowfall on the way, and obviously their journey had to be stopped, or they had to stop in the course of their journey. So up to this it is clear to you? Any doubt? So shall I move on? Okay, fine. So see now, okay. So now you see swathe of white stuff. Now it is all related with snowfall on the way, lay across the track in front of us, stretching for maybe 15 meters before it petered out and the dirt trail reappeared. The snow continued on either side. This is a very important line, as I was referring to it earlier, that there was snow on both the sides. Okay, the snow continued on either side of us, smoothing the abrupt bank on the upslope side. The bank was too steep for our vehicle to ascend. Scale means to ascend. So there was no way round the snow patch. So obviously see, they had to come out of the car, okay, and they had to push the car. Now that will be done, okay, but before that, see what they will be doing, because there is no way out. So they had to get down from the car and they had to move out the snow that was on both the side of the road. See, I joined Daniel as Shitan stepped onto the encrusted snow and began to slither and slide forward, stamping his foot from time to time to ascertain means to verify how stiff, how sturdy it was. Now supposedly with one hand on the steering and part of his body inside the car, with another part of his body outside the car, he went on stamping with his foot from time to time to see how stiff it is, how narrow it is. I looked at my wristwatch. Now at this moment the author looked at his wristwatch. Now apart from seeing the time, he could see that what is the distance, okay, what is the altitude above sea level. See, we were at 5,210 meters above sea level, okay. Now that is something from his watch, from his wristwatch, he could get to know. Now see, the snow didn't look too deep to me, but the danger wasn't its depth, Daniel said, so much as its icy top layer. Now see, if they are little not so cautious, then definitely they might meet with a big problem. So they had to be cautious, and that is what they did. Okay, see, it is written, and this line is very important: if we slip off, the car could turn over. Now this is a very important line. If we slip off somehow, then obviously the car would turn over, he suggested, as we saw Shitan grab. What is the meaning of grab? Grab means to hold something very tightly. Grab handfuls of dirt and fling them, fling means to throw, across the frozen surface. We both pitched in, and when the snow was spread with soil, Daniel and I stayed out of the vehicle to lighten Shitan's load. Ultimately see, Daniel and the author, both of them stayed out of the vehicle. Okay, we can say that even some of the light bags and baggages that they had, okay, they took those things out also, so that ultimately Shitan could drive the car without much difficulty. And yes, he drove the car without any difficulty. See this, he backed up and drove towards the dirty snow, eased the car onto its icy surface, and slowly drove its length without apparent difficulty. Okay, now this is something very important, that already he marked that part with the snow, so that ultimately he can also get an indication that up to which region there is snow, and up to and from which place he might find a plain surface to travel, and that he located, and he slowly drove the car without much difficulty. Who is he? I hope you know by this time. Here he is Shitan. But again, the author and Daniel, they both got inside the car, and again after 10 minutes there was another blockage. Okay, now what is this blockage all about? See, not good sir, Shitan announced as he jumped out again to survey the scene. Survey means what? To look out, because there was another blockage. This time he decided to try and drive round the snow. This time he thought that instead of getting down from the car, that previously the author and Daniel, they both got down from the car, or rather to say alighted from the car, this time Shitan decided to drive round the snow. Okay, so now I am moving on. I am actually now moving on to page number 77. Okay, wait, I guess there is someone on the line. just hold on. Okay, I think Rajanna also joined us right now. Okay, so Rajanna, good afternoon, welcome to the class.
Sir.
Yes, I am discussing Silk Road. Hereby I am about to show you the content. Yes, is it visible to you? Can you see the content? Yes, it is visible. The text is visible to you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay. So already I started the class. Okay, a bit earlier. Angel was there for a long time alone. So thank you for joining. So you please take out the text. It is page number 77. Okay. So let us move on. I already discussed this part, that there was another blockage. See, not good. Shitan announced as he jumped out again to survey the scene. This time he decided to try and drive round the snow. The slope was steep. As I told you, as you ascend in a mountainous region, the place becomes very narrow and steep, and started with major rocks. That means the place is like a rocky terrain. It is not like a plain smooth area where we stay. Okay, driving in the mountainous regions, living in the higher altitudes is much more challenging than the life we are leading right now. Okay, now somehow Shitan, being an expert driver, negotiated it. His four-wheel drive vehicle lurching from one obstacle to the next. Lurching means moving from one obstacle to the next. In doing so, he cut off one of the hairpin bends, regaining the trail further up where the snow had not drifted. Now he successfully negotiated that steep region, and he went on with his car, and inside the car there was the author and Daniel also. Daniel acted as the translator in the conversation with the narrator, and when the narrator had conversation with others. I checked my watch again as we continued to climb. Remember, not only time, the author could see the altitude above sea level. See, we crept past 5,400 meters and my head began to throb horribly. Now these things are very common. When you travel in higher altitudes, as I told you earlier, you might have breathing problem, you might listen less. Okay, there might be cold and cough, you can't smell anything properly. Okay, maybe the nostrils are blocked. It can happen. It happens in case of the narrator also, and he's having some headache also. Now this is because of the weather change. This is because of the ascending to the higher altitudes. Okay, now see, I took gulps from my water bottle, which is supposed to help a rapid ascent. Ascent means to climb up. So he took some water from his water bottle, and again he went on climbing. We finally reached the top at the pass at around 5,515 meters. This is the altitude above sea level. Obviously he had that particular wristwatch, so with that he can calculate it. Now see, Shitan, what he did, it was marked by a large cairn of rocks. Now cairn of rocks means a collection of rocks. Festoon means the place is spread all over. Okay, that means wherever you will find that the rocks has already covered that place. Okay, now not only rocks, there are some ragged prayer flags also. Why? Because the Buddhist tradition and religion is very much popular in that part. So these prayer flags are actually the Buddhist prayer flags that are being seen. Apart from that, there is rocks being scattered all over. We all took a turn round the cairn in a clockwise direction, as is the tradition. So they got down from the cart, and then as the tradition, they went on moving in the clockwise direction. And Shitan checked the tires on his vehicle. He stopped at the petrol tank and partially unscrewed the top. Top means the bonnet of the car, which emitted a loud hissing sound. the lower atmospheric pressure was allowing the fuel to expand. Okay, now that was the reason Shaitan decided to open the bonnet of the car or the front portion of the car in order to release that excessive pressure. It sounded dangerous to me. Maybe, sir, Shaitan laughed, but no smoking. Now the important thing is that there was a hissing noise inside the car. Okay, now when that noise was been heard by the narrator, he got a bit scared, but Shaitan, for him, who is a very local person, he told that there is nothing to worry about it. Now why the excess pressure was released? Otherwise the fuel tank might blast. Okay, then obviously it might cause life risk to them. So that is the reason Shaitan decided to release the excess pressure. Okay, and obviously he unscrewed or opened a part of the bonnet of the car so that the excess pressure can be released. Okay, so up to this it is clear to all of you. Is there any doubt at the back of your mind? You can ask me without any hesitation. It is clear? Okay, fine. Okay, so let us move on then. My headache soon cleared. After a certain time, it happens that he was having a bit of headache. That was because of the weather change and all this, so it cleared a bit. Now see, it was 2 o'clock by the time we stopped for lunch. So they started their journey, as I hope you all remembered, early in the morning. Okay, and remember the place from where they had started their journey, from Ravu, from the base camp near Ravu. Okay, now it is almost 2 o'clock now. Now we ate hot noodles inside a long canvas tent. Please underline this. Now see, getting noodles is enough. Okay, we can't expect anything because it's a big landscape. Okay, it's a mountainous region and the weather is totally unpredictable. Despite that, they got something to eat. And what is that? Hot noodles. Now part of a work camp erected beside a dry salt lake. The plateau is pockmarked with salt flats and brackish lakes, vestiges of the Tethys Ocean, which bordered Tibet before the great continental collision that lifted it skyward. Now there is a plateau region. Okay, there is a plateau region, and near that plateau region only they found a long canvas tent, and inside that long canvas tent only they ate hot noodles. Okay, now see, that place was in that place there are a lot of people. Okay, not only not only the author and Daniel and Shaitan were present, many others were also there. Now what exactly are they doing? Men with pickaxes and shovels trudging back and forth in their long sheepskin coats and salt encrusted boots. Now remember, at the very beginning of the chapter, or at the very beginning of the lesson, remember the narrator was been given a local sheepskin coat. Who had given the narrator? It was given by Hamu. The narrator was wearing that one. Now not only the narrator, the other people, some other travelers also he had seen, they were also wearing the same thing. Okay, not only that, they were also wearing boots also. All wore sunglasses against the glare. Glare means because the sun is shining and directly it might damage the eyes. That is the reason they were wearing sunglasses also. I hope you have seen it TV in many sports channels where skating and all these things are going on. I hope you have seen. Have you seen ice skating? I hope you have seen. Okay, they wear big sunglasses. The mountaineers also, if you see the picture of the mountaineers also, there also you will find that they were wearing sunglasses also. Okay, see, all wore sunglasses against the glare as a steady stream of blue trucks emerged from the blindingly white lake laden with piles of salt. Now when they got down and start clearing up the snow and all this, then all of a sudden they found some trucks or lorries. Now inside or from the outside only they could see that piles of salt are being loaded in all those blue trucks. Okay, and they were proceeding also along the way, and obviously there is snowfall that actually halted, okay, their journey. Now you see, they had to drive out the snow, then only they could continue with the remaining part of their journey. See, by late afternoon we had reached the small town of Hor, back on the main east-west highway that followed the old trade route from Lhasa to Kashmir. So see, by late afternoon finally they reached the small town of Hor. In my note that I have given in the Google Classroom, I will be uploading in WhatsApp also, you will find that many questions I have given related with this particular small town, because this particular part is very, very important. See, Daniel, who was returning to Lhasa, found a ride in a truck. So Shitan and I bade him farewell outside a tire repair shop. So this is something very, very important. Daniel, his contact may have ended at that time. So Daniel returned in a truck to Lhasa, and now it was Shitan and the narrator. Obviously the car needed some repairing. So Shitan and the narrator bade Daniel farewell, and they were waiting near a garage or tire repairing shop, we can say. We had suffered 2 punctures. Okay, this is very important because obviously it's a rugged, rocky terrain, mountainous region. It is not smooth like the plain surface of the plain region. So 2 punctures were there, and Shitan was very expert also while driving. See, we had suffered 2 punctures in quick succession on the drive down from the Salt Lake, and Shitan was eager to have them fixed since they left him with no spares. Now see, Shitan had to do it, okay, because there was no other option left. So the punctures, the tire was being repaired. So I am just moving a bit down. Beside the second tire he had changed had been replaced by the one that was as smooth as my bald head. Now there is a this line is a comedy is there in this line. Actually what the narrator is saying, that the second tire that was replaced, okay, now the new one was as smooth, and that one the narrator has compared with his bald head. Okay, now let me move on. I am moving on to the next paragraph. Is there any doubt, anyone at the back of your mind? Angel,
no, sir.
okay, Rajanna, okay, fine. It is clear up to this. Okay, now let's move on. See, Hor was a grim, miserable place. This part is very important, dear students, for your term 2. Okay, very, very important. I have given notes also. Please study those. I will be continuing with this portion of the chapter tomorrow also, because there are many things left to be explained. So tomorrow also I will be continuing with this. This is a very important, I mean all the paragraphs are important. This is very important, okay, because we find description of Hor. Now see, it is a very grim, miserable place. Okay, there is no vegetation whatsoever. Okay, just dust and rocks, liberally scattered with years of accumulated refuse, which was unfortunate given that the town sat on the shore of Lake Mansarovar. Now obviously this is quite unfortunate, because see, if you want to travel to Mount Kailash, if you want to move to if you want to visit Lake Mansarovar, obviously you have to pass through Hor, and Hor is a very grim, miserable place, okay, because it is very dirt and dust everywhere, no vegetation whatsoever. Okay, now see, ancient Hindu and Buddhist cosmology pinpoints Mansarovar as the source of 4 great Indian rivers. Now obviously the author is well learned. He was actually a professor. He knows all this. So ancient Hindu and Buddhist cosmology actually points that Mansarovar is the source of 4 great Indian rivers. And what are those 4 great rivers? The Indus, the Ganges, the Sutlej and the Brahmaputra. Actually only the Sutlej flows from the lake, but the headwaters of the others all rise nearby on the flanks of Mount Kailash. Okay, now we were, and only the Satluj flows from the lake. The other, they rise from near the region of Mount Kailash. And obviously the author is very excited because he is very much near to his mission. And you know his mission, or obviously his pilgrimage or Kora, is related with Mount Kailash. Okay, now let me just move on. But I had to wait. Shitan told me to go and drink some tea in Horse Only Cafe. There is only one cafeteria, and even that is also the infrastructure is below average, but there is no other option. See, Shitan told me to go and drink some tea in Horse Only Cafe, which, like all the other buildings in town, was constructed from badly painted concrete and had 3 broken windows. Now please underline badly painted concrete and had 3 broken windows. Okay, I told you that structurally it is below average, but one good thing is that you can have a good view of the lake if you sit in that particular cafe, and if you have a cup of hot coffee or hot tea, you can sip on the tea or the coffee, and you can have a good view of the lake. Which lake? Lake Mansarovar. Now see, I was served by a Chinese youth in military uniform who spread the grease around on my table with a filthy rag before bringing me a glass and a thermos of tea. So obviously the author had ordered for a cup of warm tea. It was given, a glass was also given to him, and a small thermoflask was also given. Inside the thermoflask there was tea. One more paragraph before I end the proceedings for the day. See, half an hour later, Shitan relieved me from my solitary confinement. The narrator was feeling a bit uncomfortable because he couldn't communicate in English with the others. Shitan could communicate with him, but when Shitan went, leaving him all alone, he felt very lonely. But half an hour later, when Shitan came, he felt very happy. Okay, see, Shitan relieved me from my solitary confinement and drove past a lot more rocks and rubbish westwards out of town towards Mount Kailash, and we continued our journey. After a half an hour break, we continued our journey, and in the course of our journey we encountered many rocks and rubbish. Okay, those things were being spread all over, but despite all those things we continued. After half an hour, on the way we saw all these rocks and rubbish westwards being scattered. Despite that, we continued our journey towards Mount Kailash. Okay, so up to this today. Tomorrow I will be continuing this page only, that is page number 78. I will be continuing from the next paragraph. I hope you all understood whatever been discussed, and is there any doubt? Anyone? Any doubt? Rajanna, Angel, any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. Thank you both of you, and please attend the class tomorrow also. Okay, thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.